What is good, friends, and welcome back. I have a guest with me today. It's Fubar. Fubar, say hello.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
I had a great weekend so far. It's beautiful outside, and thanks for reminding me to do a video about the Paramount Cup as some alliances finish their rotation, so the ranking change, and we're gonna talk about that because at this point, the Paramount Cup, I find that it's getting more like a math quiz rather than a combat game or a fighting game. As everybody wants to, at the beginning, of course, the stronger alliance got the most point, but after a few rounds, it's now the strong alliances are trying to push or to carry their allies inside the top eight to make sure that they will have a competitive ally for the grand finale. So that's what we're getting to. Uh, and it's quite interesting. I mean, the Paramount Cup is a good idea as now a lot of alliances are getting into this cup seriously. They really want to win and they want to make sure that they will have the proper team or the proper ally. Uh, I don't know if you saw that, but if you want to add something to this.
No, I completely agree with you. I've been noticing that trend, and I've been monitoring it closely. And I'm noticing that a lot of allied alliances are trying to help their partners stay in the top eight. But there is some surprises popping up in the rankings that I wasn't expecting to be there, and it's definitely heating up. For example, for the newer servers, Sussel Super Legend is in 11th place. S40 is in 12th, and they're neck and neck. I wasn't expecting them to be anywhere close to the top 10, but they're right there. Like if they have one good L4 event in Legendary 1, they could easily jump all the way up to, I want to say, ninth place
It could
because of the
happen.
how
Yeah, sorry.
yeah, yeah, because of how the point system is warranted with the 1 point per every 50k enemy kills. The more active the fight in the L4 event, the more points they're going to earn, and that's where I'm really curious. Now, what I am surprised about on this list is we're not seeing AVE from S30 on here
We're not
because
seeing them, that's right. We're not seeing them because this is their first Legendary One uh, city, and they started with 0 points. When they will finish in 2 weeks, we will see them in the ranking. But since they got in this race a bit late, they won't have a chance to make it in the top eight. That is too bad. I saw their progress and they are doing very well. I mean, they have everything they need to be in the top eight. They're not the strongest alliance out there, but they do have a lot of active whales, and their team is highly motivated. I know a few players from the old S8 server where I used to play at the very beginning, and they told me that it's night and day between their old server and this server. They have a lot of spenders. I mean, this week with the special event, they collected on average 20 alliance chests daily. That is a lot. AV Avenger have the highest combat readiness buff of everyone in their current battlefield. Higher than top, higher than S21. They are days ahead in terms of motivation. However, they will reach their top killing point, but they may not cap anything as they are on the, let's say, losing side of this conquest, meaning that even though they can single handle pretty much every alliance except S21, they are all ganging up on them and they are at a disadvantage, so they won't have a chance this time. Maybe for the next season.
now one thing I am surprised by the rankings right now is actually top. I was expecting top to be a little bit higher on the ranking than it is. Top is in 14, position 14. I was expecting them to be in like the top 10, but not in the top 8. But they're much lower than I expected.
They,
and that kind of hurts me a little bit because like I started really seriously like trying to actively learn the game. I started in the beginning of the game during beta, but I didn't really invest learning the mechanics or about the units. I was a Lego smasher, but S22 was when I really started learning the game. So the C top not doing that well. I'm like, I got kind of a mixed feelings there, but that's on me. That's my personal feelings. Now, I want to say there's two underdogs in this list that it's actually doing better than top that I'm personally starting to keep my eye on, and that's S40 and Sin 6.
so let me finish with top before talking about S40 and Sin 6. Ink Phoenix, as top, they their last Caro was a hard one. They lost. They kind of split into two alliances. A lot of their strong players went to DT, and top they still pressed forward, thinking they would be placed in a weaker or smaller tier, lower tier battlefield. But they got thrown into Legendary 1 probably because of Starcrest, which is the most powerful player in the whole game. They did all right. However, they didn't have enough players and enough motivation to be a dominant alliance. And don't forget that top they lost their last four conquests, meaning that they are on average about 50 to 60 refined components behind almost everybody else. Uh, and those, even though if they have a lot of strong players, those strong players alone cannot carry everybody else. All right, you have, let's say, six very strong players, just for example, and then you have the rest. And the rest, those players are lacking those refined components as they don't have enough, let's say, they don't have deep pockets to purchase them. So that's why they have a good intention. We talked about top in the previous video, stating that they have a chance to rise, which is they did, but they got a bit too late in the game as well. However, in the next conquest, the one that will start in about 2 weeks, they have allies that will try to carry them in the top eight. So we'll see how it goes. This next conquest will be a key moment as we need to stay in the top eight. As for 14 and Maz, they are fine, no problem here. Even FT, they're all good. So now HBR 24, G27, they all want to stay in the top eight. Let's see how it goes with P2G and Knights of Seven. As of the rest, well, it's up to them. And let's talk about Super Legend and no, sorry, S40 and Ink Phoenix 6. I played with them during the last conquest. They will just, in my opinion, they don't have what it takes. They will fall down the ladder. As Ink Phoenix, they're more like a gold alliance. And S40, same thing. I mean, they don't belong in Legendary 1. I mean, don't get upset at me. It's just my opinion. You guys will do fine in gold, but Legendary 1, they just don't have enough powerful players. They're too young, in my opinion. They're doing good for Server 40 Alliance, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, it's too early for them to be stepping up into the ring. It's like throwing a fish into the shark tank.
Right. As for Ink Phoenix 6 from Server 13, are they from Server 13? I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they. I didn't see that because when I joined HBR, a lot of their strong players already left for Server 12. So now they're trying to stick around, but they're not Legendary 1 worth in my book. Still a great alliance, and as you can see, their current battlefield, it's not easy for them. I mean, they are the weakest alliance out there.
There's a couple other alliances on here that I am surprised about that I've never heard of before that have just shown up, and they're actually doing quite well.
Which is?
Which is Kill, BXV,
Mm-hmm.
which is Berserker, and Gone. I've never heard of those alliances before, and it's nice to see them stepping up. I've heard of Kill in like whispers, and they've been around for a while. I know they're on S12,
Mm-hmm.
And I know Berserker's from S15. I never knew that S15 actually had a Legendary One team, and that it's nice to see that.
I
Gone is from S7.
yeah, I can't talk much about Berserker. I don't know them at all. Gaon, they were in the same situation as, let's say, Ink Phoenix in their battlefield, which they were in the lower tier alliance, kind of thrown it into Legendary One, and they got save zone pretty quick. Kind of sucks. As for Kill, I know them a little bit. I've been playing in Kill. This was my last alliance before I migrated to server 27. A bunch of good guys. A lot of players left for server 14 2 or 3 conquests ago. Maybe I think 3 conquests ago. So now they don't have any whales, and that is one of the issue when you want to be in a higher tier battlefield. I mean, you need activity, that's for sure, but you need at least 4 or 5 powerful players to lead the attack. That's what we see in S21. S21, they have I have no money, and other players that are they have insane activity, and those powerful players, those whales, they are active 24/7. I swear, they are always active, always leading the attack. So it's kind of motivating everybody else um, to step in and prove that they can do it. I may not say the best here, but that's what I've seen. And S21, I mean, they're really strong in their current battlefield. They will have to sweep everything in order to stick in the top 8. That's what it's gonna happen.
No, I agree with you on that one. Now, with S21 and what you were saying there, yeah, those whales right there, they're spearhead. They're spearheading the entire
Right.
game, the entire alliance.
Well said. That's the word I was looking for.
But to their smaller members who can't spend as much as those whales, they're doing their job as well. Because as you know, you've been in HBR, you have way more Legendary One experience than me. But the big thing is when you're a heavy spender, you need to have that support of the little guy because you can't fight and defend at the same time. So I feel the little guys are doing an excellent job supporting their whales in their assaults, and and that's what I think is being the real big game changer there.
Legendary One demand the highest activity. I mean, you may be able to enjoy it even as a builder as long as those strong players lead the attack. You have your role there, being a rally leader, building while the fighters are at the front and whatnot. This whole thing, it's all about teamwork. But of course, in Legendary One, the activity is key, especially at reset where all the fort open, the blockhouse open, all the key moments. You absolutely need to be almost 100% active. So let's say that if you're an alliance, mostly from, let's say, Italy or France or Great Britain, it's kind of hard to be active at the reset as you're in your deep sleep. So that could be cool as all your friends, you know each other, that's fine. But for Legendary One, it doesn't work. You absolutely need an international alliance. I know that the Vietnamese team, they're really into this game, they're dedicated. And I heard, I don't know if it's true, but some alliances, they even share their phone numbers and they get called when it's time to be active. That it's they are that crazy. So my prediction so far, this is my top 8 list of allies that will make into the Paramount Cup in the final. We have 14. We have Mass, of course, HBR, FT from server 14 as well. And now everything else will be very close. Like we have G27, server 24, probably G28, and top. So I know that's 9 alliances, but at this point, anything goes. It will really matter. It will really depend of how strong those alliances can help their friend stay in top 8.
Well, I predict right now, all right, I'm gonna give my pecking order. I'm thinking right now that the first spot is going to be held by S14 and Mass for
Mhm.
second. Then I think third is going to be HBR. I think
Ru-
right behind HBR is going to wind up being G27. Then I think Fraternity is going to be in fifth place, and then I think P2G and 24 are going to be right behind that. And I'm really hoping Knights of Seven make it into that list of the top eight because I've heard a lot of good things about them. I've never seen them fight, but I've heard a lot of good things about them. And but what concerns me is I feel like the next L4 that the little mass is going to be supported by 14 and mass to make sure they stay in the top eight. So they have a solid alliance of allies on, for all times.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
We'll see. I don't agree with you. I respect what you say, but I don't agree. But we'll see. We never know. Some airlines say they will skip. Some they say they will play. We'll find out as soon as the conquest is open for registration. Small mass, I think that mass they merge all their strongest player. I don't think that they will benefit from carrying their smaller alliance into the top eight. I think that that's the role of FT fraternity, and that's why they are in fourth place. I mean, they carried them, they gave them all the points they could to stick around in the top eight. That's the only reason. I mean, that's normal. It's their ally of server 14, so they need them for support. So we'll see in the final how it goes. But as for small mass, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, anything is possible.
Yeah, anything is possible right now. It's pretty much anyone's game right now to make it into the top eight. All you gotta do is get to the eighth position, and there's a lot of alliances really close to that.
Yep.
So that could change overnight.
That's the beauty about this game. I mean, at this point, if you have a chance to make it to the top eight, you will have to do whatever it takes. Maybe count off a few migrants. I know that HBR got a few players. They keep getting pretty good player, high quality players. Now I heard that a lot of Whiskey Tango Foxtrot players migrated to HBR, so that's good for them. And
Yeah,
they expect maybe more. We'll see. I hope that 24 gain a few more players. As for 14 mass and G27, we are under a glorious server, so nobody can enter except one player monthly. Besides that, I mean, top may have a chance to gain a few players as well. It really depends if I don't know. I hope they have the motivation to recruit some more players. We'll see. I mean, being top, I know that there's a few players in DT that should. I mean, logically, they have nothing to lose to join top and try their best for the cup. We'll see how it goes.
yes, yes. I wonder what Top's gonna do because I think that like the low morale right there needs to definitely be fixed, and that's what kills alliances, and we've all seen it. And I really hope they can pull it around because they are a good team. They've just been, I guess you could say they just been hitting a snag.
Hmm. They got a few recruits from outside server, and now if they can gain a few more players, they would be in good shape. Top will be. I heard that top will be allied with server 19 mass. Funny thing is, we're gonna finish with that. But the funny thing is, top was always friend with mass. A long time ago, when Scan was active, when Scan was playing more actively, if I can say, he was a very close friend to Nan, the leader of mass. But when Nan left, and at the first Caro, Mass kind of not broke up with Top, but they did their thing, and Top declared on Facebook that they will no longer be working with Mass, yet they are working with Mass again. So I guess at this point, when you need to make in the top eight, you have to forgive and work together. So I mean, it's
The enemy, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes, well said. So that's it. So, friends, what do you think? Do you agree? What is your prediction? Who do you think will be in the top eight? I know some of you may cheer for your team, for your own alliance, and this is fine. Maybe you're a supporter of S21. What do you think about them? Do you like how they play currently in their conquest? I predicted that they would win this conquest, and they will probably do. So they're still in Moscow. So if you want to take a look and see how it goes, let me know what you think. Let me know what is your prediction. And until then, friends, I'm gonna wish you a great weekend. Fubar.
Have a good one, guys. I got your six, and so does Mag.
All right.
Peace.